So what are you looking for game 2 then from enemy? Are you looking for the same thing for enemy?
There's no reason to go wrong, and this is a strategy we're starting to see developed onto all teams. Is the 4 Protect 1 or very tanky gods with self heals or heals from a Hell. Cognitive gaming is okay, we're gonna run a Hell and a Guan Yu, and then we're gonna run some tanky targets and maybe one carry onto our Hunter. And a lot of these teams are starting to adopt it. Even AFK, running Kumba jungle.
Well, let's find out if enemy are going to follow through and win the second game, or can Elevate come back and try and potentially take their 3rd game of the season. We'll find out as we go into picks and bans, and Elevate will be first pick.
It's going to be interesting to see really what they prioritize and what they want to take away. I don't think they want to deal with the Khepri again. I do think if they're not going to look to first pick it, they'll ban it away.
Well, I mean, they left it, but it was left open the last time round. It worked very, very usefully. PainDeViande made some good use with that Khepri ultimate. A couple of times, especially with that very deep one where we thought we were going to see Saltmachine fall down, and instead, he survived and came all the way back to the safety of his own half of the map.
Yeah, he actually walked into the enemy tower to make sure that the ultimate was procced, because Aduro and Metyankey were the 2 enemies near him, and they weren't going to attack him anytime soon. Well, they wanted him to not respawn.
PainDeViande and the boys of enemy respect that Khepri, and they will ban it away. They don't even give the option to Elevate to pick that one up for themselves. And Odin, a respect ban against PainDeViande there.
A complete respect ban. He's really one of the few who run it. There's also the chance that they want to first pick Hell here.
So would you see a Hell ban from enemy? Yeah, you do.
There's no reason not to. And I mean, at this point, all mid laners need to or should have learned Hell. And like I said, Elevate, they've really adopted a lot of the cogs of cognitive gaming strategy. So it'd be no surprise to see a Guan Yu Hell combo. But it will be Serqet who's
I like
left
the Odin
open.
ban for decent reasons, though, because by banning Odin, enemies like, well, they're probably going to pick Hell, but that leaves Serqet available, which is a really good opportunity for them to get control of this game.
Wukong's available as well, but I mean, Saltmachine did a great job against that Wukong as, Bellona, so we could see enemy not elect to go there. There's also Osiris open, which does a great job of controlling Wukong in lane.
Well, Serqet first pick for Elevate, as we said, enemy thinking about this long and hard. They do have the 2 picks, which a lot of teams are favouring nowadays. Some Wukong on surprisingly locked in again, and it's going to be Geb going over to PainDeViande here for that support role.
Geb is the best support to pick into a Serqet. I mean, Serqet goes on a target, and then they Geb shield, they have Cataclysm, they have a knockup, they have a lot to deal and protect their carries with, and Serqet, that's her job, is to dive carries in the back line.
And this time it's going to be Bellona across the way to Elevate this time round. It was on Saltmachine. This time it's going to be going the opposite way to Scary D, more than likely.
It's just going to be a reverse of that soul, and I'll be interested to see how that matchup is going to work. Janus going to be locked in. Was Janus banned last game?
No, I don't think it was, and I think that's the funny thing is that Janus not necessarily a priority pick as much as it is over in Europe. I mean, we need to see it more often than
It's
not.
almost always permabanned or first pick.
And we see it from some of the bigger teams too. Like, generally they'll always pick the Janus, but got through last time. This time, though, Elevate, bit of a safer god here than Isis. Aduro's going to go for a safer option.
Yeah, Aduro's not going to be able to get dove and just be forced out of every fight.
That the rest of his team could escape, and he was like, guys.
Everyone's like so tanky, so mobile. Khaos gonna lock in that Hades. I think there's no point not to. It worked out, although like you said, not gonna. He actually does have a decent matchup against Janus as well. If the ultimate's down, he is actually able to keep him away from walls.
Exactly. He's got a lot of wave clear, does Hades, and against the Janus early on, easy push power for the most part. But Janus' mobility is just so strong. Don't forget, you can banish yourself while inside the Hades ultimate to avoid damage too, though. So it's not necessarily the best thing in the world to try and put Hades against the Janus. But Janus had a lot of ways to avoid the damage from the ultimate and getting pinned in there.
Bans coming through. Kali once again taken away from enemy, and it's going to be Athena locked out for Elevate. And Geb already picked, Khepri banned. Why not ban one of the other best gods in the game, especially one of the most mobile gods?
Should have picked Ares, though, at the same time. Sorry, they picked Geb here because they could have looked for Ares enemy. I mean, against that composition you see now, Bellona, Janus, Serqet, Ares, very, very strong against it. And NA knows this, and obviously PainDeViande knows this too, but he chose the Geb early.
That could just be playing the player, right? Metyankey may not have an Ares, but I mean, apparently Metyankey saying he does. Most of the sports in North America, I think, have realized that they need to be playing this Ares. For the longest time, it was virtually ignored. Just people did not play it. People did not practice it. Now that Europe has shown not only how dominant it is, but some of the North America players like Aurora and Shadowq have adopted it, we are starting to see it more widespread.
Well, that Ares as well is going to be good at locking down the Geb, not able to use the rollout, especially in Hades as well. Can't use the depths from below to escape. If he does get crippled, he's not available. At the same time, Medusa, she can't sliver herself away with that lacerate. And all locked in finally. All seems to be one of these that's like a fringe pick in the Hunter role these days.
It's kind of just picked up when you don't exactly know what you want there. Awilix, though, going to be the last picked for this game. 2 knockups on the side of enemies, Sun Wukong and Geb, that they're really going to be able to combo with this. And I'm actually a fan of Awilix, and Awilix, I believe, was banned last game. They didn't want that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Apologies for the technical issues, but you've not missed any action. Only first blood has happened so far in favor of enemy over to, once again, Khaos on that Hades. As we tune in with the duo lane where PainDeViande under pressure a little bit more from the Ares, but it's Vessalius who's out of mana in that lane.
And in this lane, there was a lot of early aggression. We actually saw Elevate start to zone this wave, and Metyankey being very aggressive. And you can see, looking at Vessalius' health and mana, he was forced out. Great play by Vetium and PainDeViande to come back into that matchup and really turn the pressure onto them.
Talk about pressure, Scary D trying to keep it up on Salt Machine there. Eats a little bit from the minions, but pops a health potion and should be fine.
Left
Meanwhile,
side.
PainDeViande does manage to pick up Vessalius, who, like we said, was out of mana and pretty low in health after.
Probably just didn't have enough mana to jump and got a little bit caught out there. It was probably just a little bit of miscalculation, not aware that he could not jump away, and that spelled the end of it.
Did like what Metyankey was doing there. He wasn't even hitting the minions, just staying in range. He wants to keep the minion wave as slow as possible for them to push it out so he can get his teammate in Vessalius back there. But this aggressive duo lane hasn't worked out so well. And talk about aggression, Salt Machine has to use the cloud in response to the Eagles rally, and I think it might be Scary D under pressure here, because guess who else is on the way over? Actually, wait. Oh, my theory was
both
just waiting
junglers.
in case Salt Machine went all the way. Scary D's trying to bait this hard, but he's going to make a big mistake because the other jungler turned up.
They just walked by Mytherea, and the call wasn't there. I'm assuming he was out of vision range and couldn't hear him at all, and that was just unfortunate. It looked like a play that Elevate was going to be able to find a kill, but it was Just the one who took the first strike and locked him out. Aduro now just forced to ult. Just trying to walk there.
Yep, a little bit caught out of position there, so has to ult defensively. But the funny thing is, Scary D walked up going, "Hey, what's up, buddy? You good? Yeah, come out and hit me. I've not got anyone here, I promise." And Salt Machine was like, "Well, I've got someone here too, so goodbye."
Yeah. And Elevate, once again, game 2, they're just falling behind early. Speaking of that, Adjust coming around for the back. They know his ult is down. One more hit, and Adjust going to find it and get away.
Really nice play from Adjust. He calculated how much he could actually take, but maybe Metyankey can make it pay. No! Sucker at the right time. The blink in. No escape this time, Adjust. You will fall down, but reinforcements are here, and Metyankey surrounded and immediately pulled in by Khaos for another kill for the team.
I think Metyankey will take that death. Actually, Salt Machine could fall too. They could get this auto off, but it's not going to be enough damage. It's the Geb shield. One more tick, and it will work. Mytherea finds a nice counter kill. So a kill, a counter gank, and then another counter gank, and then another counter gank.
Well, 2 for 5, and Mytherea does manage to get himself one of the first kills on the side of Elevate. Not bad to go over to Serqet, but Awilix across the way, Adjust 2-1-1 already. Got those 4 boots finished now and making an impact with that. Really nice play Adoro in mid lane for me.
I mean, 400 gold ahead of the direct matchup now, and yeah, just sneaks around the back, and he manages to hit the knockup with the Moonlight Charge, and that's not the easiest ability to hit, but when the mid laner's unaware, that's when you can get away with it, and Aduro and Elevate, he just straight up got caught off guard.
Well, both junglers doing their speed buffs right now as the supports rotate around to this right-hand side of the map. They'll see the right harpies are being done by enemy then. I don't think Metyankey's going to be able to do anything about that, as an Ares, his ultimate was still on cooldown from the last time he picked up that kill onto Adjust.
PainDeViande level 7 already, ahead of most of the members coming out for Elevate. I mean, only Salt Machine, or excuse me, Scary D, level 8 is ahead of PainDeViande.
That first blood was what really helped him more than anything else, you know, to put him in a rough position there. I do like the Awilix pick as well, because it also deals very nicely with Mytherea here on this Serqet. When he tries to use that ambush away, get over here, pull him all the way back in again.
And that's really the only jump they have. Vessalius also is going to be able to counter him, so it just seemed like the perfect pick for enemy's team composition. Big ult coming through Aduro, and the rest of Elevate trying to lock down.
I feel going very deep. This is going to go all the way under the tower for the pickup as well. Trying to find it as well. Going to be able to actually ult him, pick up the kill, pull back in by Adjust to turn it around. But the Paul will stop the chase for a second, but Adjust may continue wanting to go because Khaos is coming around the side too. Metyankey hasn't realized this yet as the no escape does connect.
Metyankey might be baiting his team here, but a nice hit from Aduro going to force Adjust out. Khaos going to be stuck in the middle lane, and Vessalius just going to be jumping out. Metyankey, he's the only one left alive for now, and that portal going to keep him up for at least a second.
Oh, Metyankey realizing his aggression, so he's going to chains up PainDeViande to force him away again. Nobody else dies in this lane.
In the meantime, Scary D and Salt Machine just farming over in this soul lane. Look at this rotation, though. Scary D is here trying to pick up Geb or someone, but PainDeViande and Adjust have already healed back up a little bit. Scary D by himself, 1 versus 4. Metyankey waiting around the corner, but it's not going to be enough, especially with the Duro sitting at no mana. They can't really keep that aggression up.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of Bellona can do without like having Frostbound Hammer to keep sticking to the target. All those gods have some form of escape. Rollout as an example on one. Then you've also got Depths from Below for the Chaos Hades there as well. Just be able to get away from danger.
Mytherea going to be soaking up some experience in the right-hand side now, very far behind Adjust, who has really been putting the pressure on the map. Last game, I'd say, it was all about Khaos and his rotations. This time, Adjust, getting that kill in the right-hand line, then coming into the mid lane, knocking up a Duro under his own tower, actually in between the tier 1 and tier 2 tower, finding the gank, and then rotating over the left-hand side and plucking in Serqet after Mytherea dove very deep.
But it's what enemy's doing right is the communications, because without letting him know through space and time was down for a Duro, he wouldn't have been able to try and find that pick and the opportunity to pull him all the way in like that. So yeah, Adjust having a good game so far. As are most of the boys of enemy, they won the first game that we saw today, and so far so good. And the second one up 6-3. Gold lead of around 2,500 here. If we check it with the graphs, we should be able to see experience as well. It's around 2,000 in favor there as well.
So small leads coming out for enemy, and like I said, Adjust has been the key for me, and I do want to see him keep up this aggression and keep rotating and trying to lock down Mytherea, especially. Metyankey, level 8. It looks like he wants to fight. 3 members of Elevate grouped up, and they're going to go straight for PainDeViande, but Khaos drives straight into the backline and locks in Metyankey.
Locks in Metyankey, but a good Cataclysm coming out from PainDeViande. He's still going to get hit by the ult, followed by through space and time to pull in on to Mytherea, will annihilate him. And now Scary D comes in with the Eagle's Rally, but doesn't find Geb, who manages to roll out. And Scary D still trying to make work onto Adjust, who's going to use Suka to pounce out. But now Salt Machine is there as Khaos finally does fall down to a Duro. And they pick up a kill, 1-for-1, mid laner, the jungler.
Salt Machine's rotation, though, also going to stop Elevate from looking for any more kills. Vessalius forced out of this lane once again, and he has no lifesteal as his problem right now, matched up against the Devo Gloves, and it's a very volatile lane where if you're trying to trade out poke against a god who has gone Devo when you've elected to go this stacking item entrance,
well, he went full aggro, didn't he, at the start of the game with the Ares, looking for a super aggression. Good chain coming out again, though, from Metyankey. A third one connects. This should be his death. It will be, but Metyankey should trade this back as well as that tower. Last hit will tick. Good, nice, sweet Prince.
Locking down Adjust there, I think, is worth. Even though Adjust does get a turnaround kill, it keeps him from farming for at least 25 seconds. And that, Metyankey dying there, not good, but he does secure a kill, getting him closer to finishing Sovereignty and gives him Mytherea a little bit of time to free farm and close the gap that Adjust has gained.
So good work again from Elevate, trying to answer back to enemy. Fortunately enough, they did fall down there as well. As we tune in once again to the solo lane, Scary D having a bit of a better time of it so far. His rotation has been a little bit quicker than that of Salt Machine, but Salt Machine now has a gold lead because of it. And,
a small gold lead, but what it's going to come down to is who gets this Mystical Mail online first. In Game 1, they actually got it online at the same time, even though Salt Machine had the 700 gold lead early. The team was able to rally around and help get them even and get that Mystical Mail on at the same time. But if you're a couple minutes behind, it gets real rough in the solo lane.
Mid lane, blinking from Adjust, pulls in a Duro away from a wall as well. He gets annihilated before he can get away with it through space and time. Metyankey uses no escape, but Beads as well as already an ultimate. They're not going to find any follow-up, and a Duro falls down again. Meanwhile, left-hand side, same story. Vessalius under so much pressure from Vetium.
And I don't think he's going to be able to fight back into this one anytime soon. He has no lifesteal at all. Vessalius Vetium going to be able to. I hate when these two play.
V&V.
It's enemy and Elevate and Vessalius and Vetium. I hate when these two hunters play. Can we not watch that lane anymore?
We're going to head over there now as Adjust is going to look to try and take away the purple buff. Only Vetium is there to support.
Are you sure it's Vetium?
Yeah, because Vessalius is on the left-hand lane at the moment. That's why Mytherea is here as well. The red buff is available, but they're not going to try and evade that one, and that's why Mytherea and Metyankey hanging around here to make sure they didn't look to steal away further jungle buffs.
They're going to really need to babysit Vessalius until he can get some lifesteal online and really start competing up against this hunter. Vetium, nice dash away, recognizing Metyankey was in the jungle, and Metyankey, that blink is on cooldown for 150 seconds. He's going to turn his attention to PainDeViande, but the autos from Vetium doing a lot of damage. Vessalius forced out. They're going to have to take a Duro's ult out of the fight, and now PainDeViande going to be turning around. Vetium takes out Mytherea.
Vetium is doing a lot of damage as well, and now Aduro's going to try and run away. Thresholds himself away from the danger. Mytherea fell. Vessalius got out with barely any health, and Aduro was really struggling too there. So, and that was just a gank attempt onto Vetium, who was like, all right, cool, I'm just going to acid spit, and you all dead and running away. Cool.
I'm pretty sure that Aduro had just, based on the angle, I feel like he had just been walking back into lane when he was forced to ult there and protect his team, got poked out, and once again forced back to base. Aduro, for the second game in a row, has been getting so much focus put onto him.
But
And
he has picked up some kills
it's hard for him
early,
to respond.
which is very important, especially when you're playing Janus. You can still be useful late game if you do fall behind. Isis, well, yeah, she's got the CC, but she'll be bursted a lot quicker than Janus has for escapes. But hang on, Janus from escapes.
He just came back to the lane for a third time and forced out once again.
At least he's alive, though.
At least he's alive. That's important.
Barely.
Not finding kills, but I mean, the gold lead for Khaos continues to extend. There's not a single gold fury taken, but it's already a 600 gold lead.
Elevate really starting to struggle this game once again, and you can see Vetium putting the pressure on to Vessalius, forcing him away one more time before the next minion wave comes in, as Ares is left to hold this mid lane at the moment. Adoro on the way back, Mytherea right behind him too, as these two are having a little bit of a boxing match here, and Ullr's not looking so good.
The slow's going to come down, and Vessalius, he's going to fall. Vetium abusing this matchup, recognizing that Vessalius not only has been getting poked out repeatedly, but he didn't go a lifesteal build at all. So anytime Vessalius wants to even inch up on this lane, he's just going to dash forward and get out as much poke. He's going to be able to heal back up with the minions, and so far we've seen that abused perfectly. I believe that's the first 1v1 kill, though.
Straight up 1v1 kill as well. Just don't think Vessalius expected as much burst out of Vetium as there was. And like you said, the lifesteal was very, very important there, because it looks like he's also going Soul Eater here as well to already go with the Devourer's Gauntlets he's got online. He's going to be a very tough target to bring down this Medusa when he's just going to stand and bang with you, because he doesn't have to worry.
He's not going to have a lot of attack speed right now, but he's not worried about that so far. It's just about abusing this matchup where Ullr still hasn't got lifesteal online, and any amount of poke, he's just going to be able to heal it right back up, adjust, sitting around this corner, looking for Mytherea.
Patient game now from
Walked
Enemy,
right over a ward,
keeping the
however.
pressure. Yeah, I mean, just that around the side. He's okay with that, though. I mean, to be fair, what's Mytherea going to do? If he tries to go aggressive, he can just pull him all the way back in. You can actually see the beads not actually online just yet for Mytherea, I believe. I believe there's a blink that he's got at the moment on this Serqet. As we check it with the player damage, you can see clearly Vetium having a whale of a time, or a snake of a time, as we should say, over in this duo lane.
Yeah, Vessalius 4k player damage down, and while he's trying to do some poke, I mean, he just needs to be focusing on clearing this wave and getting exactly what's happening, especially with the Just rotating over. Just, does he have Blink online? Yes, he does, but he's just going to be taking away this attack speed buff. No one from Elevate has responded. Mytherea, though, able to pick up a gank in the right-hand side. Enemy going to take advantage of that with the numbers on the left.
And a big group on the left-hand side here, but what's the call going to be? I mean, trying to pick up Vessalius here. He's very safe under the tower. Metyankey's on the rotation round as well to support. Don't know if this is the right call to go aggressive, but the Blink Chains connects. And some nice poke onto Vetium, who can still heal this back up. But there's a Just going in deep on Vessalius as well, who's under a lot of pressure. PainDeViande now here. Not going to find the Cataclysm. The ult was very, very late. The Gravity Surge coming out there from a Just through space and time in the back from Adoro as Metyankey uses the no escape. But Khaos has two pinned, and Vetium gets a double with the Petrify.
Over here in the jungle, too, we have a Just trying to fight into Mytherea, and a good job from Khaos and the rest of the team to protect a Just. A Just going to be able to walk out of this one super low as Mytherea, and he's going to have to fall. And Enemy, they're going to not lose a single player, able to grab two. Once again, shutting down this dual lane from Elevate. There's nothing they can do at this point, and PainDeViande, he's just on zone duty while Khaos and Vetium finish off this Gold Fury.
Very good call to start the Gold Fury up at the moment. PainDeViande still doing what he can to zone, but he's under a lot of pressure there. Luckily, his boy Salt Machine is turned up on this Sun Wukong, going to force them back. The Gold Fury will now fall down, and Salt Machine, well, he could just bravely walk away from this one. I don't think there's a lot of Duro. Only level 13 can really do right now. Well, they get a little bit more poke. Maybe they can end it, but Khaos is here in support.
Gap Shield, even though Salt Machine doesn't have his ult, the Gap Shield too powerful right now. Mytherea coming just back to lane. Same with the Just, and Mytherea recognizes it, jumping away very quickly. No ult available for a Just, otherwise he would have been pulled back.
Things working out very well for Enemy. You can see that in the graphs again. 8,600 experience, 5,500 gold lead for them too. With that Gold Fury already falling down, they can start turning their attention for more pressure on the right. But Blink Chains again from Metyankey in the mid lane, only onto PainDeViande, who's a very tanky target to try and bring down now.
Even when he's behind, Metyankey has continued to be aggressive, looking for these players like PainDeViande, or more importantly, a Just in the jungle, just trying to force them out or allow his team to get as much poke as they can off. So, and you know, I talked about it earlier, like, can Metyankey play Ares? And he can, but the team not having the best time with it.
Well, we see aggression from Mytherea. They're looking for the blink and the kiss, but he didn't find it. And now it just is the one turning the attention back on him. Cobra's kiss has to be used, and a nice portal used by Adoro to get his team out of a bit of a tricky situation.
Cobra's kiss probably wasn't needed there, especially with that portal coming through. A little bit of miscommunication. I really don't think Mytherea had any kill potential on that target, and that ult's going to be down for 90 seconds. So we have seen Mytherea make plays on some players, especially over in the Soul lane, trying to get Scary D ahead, and that's going to be 90 seconds where he's not able to do much.
Vessalius still trying to trade off with Vetium here, and now he realizes It's better not to go for that this time. Leaps away. Bit of poke pressure, but it's not going to be enough against this amount
He's
of lifesteal.
expending so much mana, and yeah, the lifesteal from Vetium, he's going to be able to heal it back up, and Vessalius continuing to try and joust Vetium, but he's so far behind, I'm not entirely sure why he's doing this.
It's a bit of a strange trade. You can see Vetium, well, he's just going to auto these minions down now and be back to full health once again. As in the mid lane, you can see the Harpies on the left have just spawned, and the boys of enemy, they're going to start swinging around there to take those as well. As once again, Vetium putting the pressure onto Vessalius, who's slowly being chipped away. His HP pull. Metyankey is on the way. The axe finally does connect this time round, but Vetium poking him hard and painfully. But Metyankey misses the chain. No escape will connect, however.
Doesn't matter. Beads are up finally for Vetium, and Vessalius got very close to dying. If we were able to find one more auto, that would have been the end of it. Just going to expend his ult, but Beads forced out once again, and enemy continue to just control this left side of the map. You can see how deep they are, trying to steal away their attack speed buff for the 3rd time in a row.
Scary D just trying to stop the back of Salt Machine there. I mean, Cloud is available as well. Both of them do have ultimates on that side. It's unlikely we'll see a kill, but left-hand side we may see one, because there's a big ult to the right-hand side as we see aggression once again, and there's a big ultimate that's going to bring down Metyankey, surrounded by 4. Back to the right-hand side, the big rotation looking for some Wukong. Will they find him is the question. I don't know. I mean, Mytheria's gone all the way in here. Last breath connects, throws him into a wall, and he will fall down. Meanwhile, enemy, they're going to get a tier 1 and look for a tier 2.
The tier 2 is going to be free. Vessalius not going to be able to defend that. And you can see 2 members over in this right-hand side lane trying to split push and get their own tower. Teleport coming in. This could be real dangerous for Scary D. He teleported into 4 and just ulted immediately away. That's a wasted cooldown.
Well, Eagle's Rally was used. Meanwhile, right-hand side, you can see Mytherea and Adoro tried to split push and look for a tier 2. They changed their mind, though. They're going to recall in case that Phoenix was pressured further, as Vessalius in the mid lane trying to pick up some farm, and a tier 1 there in response as well.
If he can get this is nice, but the question is, can he also get out? And it's taken a while to do this, and he should be okay if he can take a proper pathing. And yeah, Vessalius is just going to grab this, and just look at this enemy. They don't even care.
Yeah, they've all just grouped up in mid lane and taken the tower back in response there. You can see with Vetium at the moment, and he's level 18 in this lane, this Hunter. Vessalius stuck around a little bit too long now. I think this may have been the mistake that you were talking about.
He's going to be trying to run and looking to back, but if they catch him out, and it looks like they will.
Oh, yes, they will.
Vessalius just got super greedy there.
And now he's going to be punished for it as well. But the question is, who's he going to get punished to? Maybe the Titan. Go, Titan, go. No. The Mystical Mail did tick from Salt Machine, so it didn't matter anyway. They're all looking for the kill, and the credit goes to Vetium.
But he's actually distracted the team long enough and Elevate. They're going to take this advantage and start at the Fire Giant. The question is Khaos going to smell it out? He recognizes something is up, and they are not doing enough damage to this.
Already nearly enough dead there as well. He's going to recall right back. And if actually Khaos can take aggro with that Fire Giant, they could have continued it. Changed his mind, though. And a nice result once again for enemy.
Not going to be too risky right now, but this Hunter matchup is fully in command of Vetium, and he is abusing it as best he can.
Jotuns there as well.
Yeah, so I think he was actually debating Jotuns in game 1. I don't know. Maybe he misclicked.
Scary D, a little bit surrounded here. The disarm's going to buy him a second to allow Mytherea to get in there to support. But look at PainDeViande over the wall. He'll be looking for a big Cataclysm if he can find it. Good shockwave. Cataclysm does connect with Mytherea, who deathbanes away, followed by the ambush. Back to safety. But 2 characters on the side of Elevate on low HP. Metyankey trying to zone, but he won't be able to zone alone for long.
5 enemy players grouped up in the middle lane. Only 3 here to defend for Elevate. The other 2 back in Fountain.
It's okay. The world is on their side.
They have the world and the fireworks as well. Look at that.
So pretty. Threshold comes out. Mytherea just walks straight up and goes very aggressive. He gets bursted for his transgressions. He will fall down. Salt Machine gets chained, as does Vetium as well, but Vetium's still alive. No escape coming out, but beads used by everybody, so nobody pull back in through space, and time connects, but not enough damage on that too. Scary D going in deep looking for Vetium. The sustain is paying off at the moment. Good knockback from PainDeViande, just rotating into support as well if he can help it. Petrify used, but the shield was actually there to support as well. Still alive is Vetium, but for how long? He will fall to Adoro finally, as Khaos is going to make 2 pay.
Can he get his heal off in time? That's going to be the question. No, Adoro finds the second kill. Scary D on low health. PainDeViande trying to lock down a target. It's going to be Salt Machine chasing down Scary D. Chains coming out, but actually Metyankey has pulled Gold Fury, and PainDeViande just kind of juking behind it there.
Crazy engagement between the 2 teams, and honestly, for how that went down, Adoro picked himself up a double kill, which is very important for himself there to actually start being a bigger threat in this game.
because he's only level 16. He is even with Khaos, but saltmachine on 19, Adjust on 18. There's just too many. Vetium also on 19. The carries for enemy right now are so far ahead, and a little bit greedy from Vessalius and Metyankey. They're trying to get some waves, and Adjust going to jump out, but he's going to be chased.
Really
Mytherea should be able to grab this.
Axe and Last Breath used as well. Adjust will fall down. Suku is on cooldown. He leapt away and falls down. Vessalius picking himself up the first kill of the game for himself.
Meanwhile, saltmachine going to be splitting that mid-tier 2 tower, and enemy will extend their lead by about, it looks to about 8,000 off of that one.
And respond to Elevate here to try and actually get some of this gold back. Saltmachine will break up that tower, and they realised they weren't going to be able to stop it in time. But PainDeViande looking to defend the Gold Fury. Can he find anything?
I mean, they know he's here. They just think they have the burst. But they're spending a lot of time, and Khaos is rotating in here. And PainDeViande just stole the Gold Fury. Elevate just let him. I mean, they didn't really have any CC. I guess they were banking on trying to coordinate the burst.
It's a gap.
They didn't coordinate anything, and now Vessalius is going to fall as well. Scary D is slowed in place. 4 members of enemy. Just going to turn on the red buff, though.
I don't know how that happened.
And he
I
just
didn't say anything because I was just like, what?
He just kind of stood there. He's
Hey
like, guys, he literally told them, I'm going to steal this. He sat there and he's like, I'm going to steal this.
And he did.
And with a Geb knockup.
Let's go to the graph set and see exactly how that impacted with our second Gold Fury going there, I believe. And that's going to be 10,000 gold lead, 13,000 experience now in favor of enemy. Elevate had a slight chance to try and even up that goal, but a small miss. Well, not you can't call it a small miss, but you let Geb steal it. I mean, that's all I've got.
I mean, at that point, Elevate has to commit to the Gold Fury. They're so far behind. They need to have something that comes back, that gets them back into the game. Unfortunately, though, I mean, PainDeViande is just kind of like walking in front of him. He's level 16. He's higher level than most of their carries.
He's cocky now because he got a Gold Fury. Now he's surrounded by 4 members, and he's like, well, I'm Geb. He's been saying he's saving the world, but now he's going to take full burst. A lot of ultimates consumed here to try and bring him down. He will escape, and Khaos is here through space and time, and hits from Adoro, which is good, and he will escape as well. So 1 for 0 pickup. PainDeViande a little bit too cocky on that rock and paid the price.
Just going to expend his ult, but the jump had already been completed. Metyankey going to throw out some change, put some pressure on the saltmachine. Saltmachine does have his ult, so he should be fine for now. Khaos, though, look at him lurking in that blue buff. He wants Elevate to be aggressive. He wants them to try and dive someone so he can go in. And like you said, PainDeViande just kind of giving away his life when they had a huge advantage there.
I mean, that's also Elevate realizing the mistake they made last time, right? They let him just stand around and watch him, and then he got Gold Fury. So this time he stood around like, let's just kill him.
And honestly, if enemy had been there faster, or if PainDeViande hadn't been trolling and completely out of position, enemy would have won that fight clean. I mean, Elevate spent so much trying to lock him down.
I would class PainDeViande as like trolling there. He was just stood around the area.
No, he was trolling.
Well, the team were pushing up.
He was trolling.
Okay, if you're
PainDeViande was trolling.
I think his team was pushing up and he was making each other's zones.
Pain is spamming his world emote.
Vetium cut out of position here alone. Khaos on the way to support, but can Vetium survive in time? He's under the tower. Big shield coming out from PainDeViande, and can he keep him alive even longer? The sustain is good from Vetium. He will survive. The tick damage from the poison not enough on the backside though. Scary D there to secure it as the fight continues in the lane.
Vessalius is going to be pulled back into the middle of the fight, and a great knockup. Adjust finds that kill. And Elevate right now, they've already lost 2. They were able to pick up Vetium, but Metyankey locked in place. He's going to fall. Adoro
get the pole! Makes it out for the time being, but can the team continue to chase?
Is Suku up? If Suku's up, it's going to be very hard for Metyankey to get away from this one. Nice chain coming out from him, and it will be Adjust who's likely to find this kill. 1 knockup, 1 flip, and Adjust. He locks down Metyankey.
And now Scary D surrounded by 4 members. He's actually going to turn his attention to Mytherea. Sorry, not to Mytherea. Adjust here and try and put the pressure on. The disarm was good. Adoro's back, looking for the unstable vortex, but Scary D very, very low on HP. Cloud is out. PainDeViande rolling in, going to get the knock-up, but it's not enough to find a kill.
Mytherea still level 15, 25 minutes in. Going to be trying to lock down someone, but his ult isn't up. He just doesn't have the damage, and enemy going to be taking this tier 2 tower. Mytherea can't really defend this at all.
Well, I mean, they've not got a massive amount of clear on this at the moment. There's a full minion wave in. Those minions will be focusing on each other, but now he will have to back away. Vessalius on the way over here at level 16 to the level 20 of Vetium. His wave clear is not that strong right now against the power of the minions.
Enemy just continuing to grow their lead bit by bit. Vessalius rotating back in here, wants to try and fight this. An enemy,
they don't fight fast. More than
it is. They just want to battle back and forth. PainDeViande, Mikey caught out here again. Rotation coming in. Aduro charging his ult. Doesn't hit the snipe this time. PainDeViande's going to live for now.
Vetium, however, does pick up 1 kill, going in deep for Vessalius for the second. Aegis buys him 1 moment of time, but Adjust will pick him up. Metyankey trying to turn the damage back with searing flesh onto Adjust, but the silence is enough. Followed by the ultimate from Khaos to help him out, and Adjust picks up a double as one man scarily surrounded by the whole army of enemy, and Adjust finds himself a triple followed by a tower.
Adjust has been on point this game. 26 kills for enemy. He's 12 of them alone
just under
are
half.
on Adjust, and he's also got 6 assists. The pressure Adjust has been putting out and allowing his team to get ahead as Mytherea rotates in and is forced to beat immediately.
Phoenix does fall on the right-hand side, and what is it that enemy's going to do? Are they going to just try and end and power through this game here? It's 26 minutes in. It's a
They've
little
got a
bit
10-second window. They have a 10-second window before these players start to spawn.
This is necessarily the best idea. They do pick up Mytherea, though. Have they got damage to bring down the Titan?
They're going to try. It's already under half. Metyankey spawned. Vessalius is spawned, and Aduro is coming up as well. There's the pluck. They find one, and the Titan. It's at 3,000 life. It doesn't look good for enemy. They're going to keep on trucking through, trying. No, the call is to back off 2,000 health on the Titan, and Aduro's going to keep up the chase. The snipe, not going to connect, but Vessalius, he's going to chase deep over on the left-hand side.
He's going to keep chasing on the left-hand side, trying to find that pick, but meanwhile, saltmachine jumping away to victory. He should be able to get out of there. I had a feeling that was going to happen.
I feel like they almost could have committed. I mean, it was 2,000 life, but the call was to leave a little bit early, I think. But I guess it would have been a little bit... It's like a huge risk factor because you would have lost all 5 members.
Now is the call for Elevate. They have to do it. The good news is Aduro's there. Vessalius is on the way as well, but he's only level 17, so his damage isn't going to be that high. saltmachine knows what's up. He doesn't have teleport to go back in. Can saltmachine be the hero they need here? He's going to have to keep an eye on Metyankey, well aware there could be somebody waiting in the wings, so he's going to force saltmachine away. And this Fire Giant should eventually fall down and will fall down to Elevate.
And Elevate nicely fighting back. I mean, they're still down in gold, but this is definitely going to be closing the gap. 12,000 in gold, 16,000 in experience.
Not really closing the gap there, Janus.
It's helping. It is helping them for sure.
Mistake from enemy has been punished. They've got a chance to try and defend, but the issue is Titan way below half health here.
They need to be careful not to get dove because there is a teleport to gods, or excuse me, teleport to wards on saltmachine, and there are no towers up.
Well, in saltmachine, playing some Wukong, and the last time we saw a backdoor attempt, it was by Devios, who did it with a teleport and
he 1v1. He 1v1 the Titan.
Well, he 2v1 because he decoyed.
That's well.
Just saying.
Well, saltmachine could decoy too, right? So he could 2v1 too.
Let's find out exactly how it is. You can see the little highlights there. Wards placed down on the map for enemies. Got a ward on the right-hand side. I should expect to go with the fire minions there. At the moment, Vessalius is going to try and farm up and catch up a little bit more. Now hit level 18, 2 and 7. His builds come online a little bit better than it was, but across the way, Vetium at the moment, who's 8, 3 and 9, has Rage finished and already working on that Deathbringer by the looks of it.
And that's a huge DPS increase. That Rage alone is just, once you start getting your crit online, Hunter's damage opens up, it blows up, and it's very important to have that. For now, Elevate just need to farm up. They don't need to force anything because they're still going to be behind. Even with that, even with the power they're getting, even with the regen, they shouldn't be looking to force stuff. There's just too much damage on enemy right now.
Right? That's more than anything. But hold on a second. I think Vessalius may be caught
out of position here. He is way pushed up with not a single ward.
The back of him already, and that is going to be big crit damage from the Rage on Adjust, and Vetium picks it up. And that's going to be a 4v5, and with that Titan already low, this is going to be a rough ask for Elevate to try and hold on. Metyankey finds chains on saltmachine, but doesn't really do any damage.
Vessalius, I mean, he was just trying to farm up, get back into the game, and maybe that could be the end of the game there. Enemy, they're going to be grouping up for this left side Phoenix. They still have a big advantage, especially with the fire minion wave over in the right-hand side, very close to the Phoenix. It's about to respawn. PainDeViande blinking into the back, going to find 2-man Cataclysm and gets beads out of Aduro and Mytherea.
Forces it back, but you can see how tanky PainDeViande is on the front line. Nobody's actually really bringing down that Phoenix, so it is being chipped away at slowly.
Look at the positioning.
Back away for a moment. Look how deep Adjust is there, waiting patiently as the Titan is still under attack from fire minions. This could be the game anyways. The fire minions are doing the work. Enemy are just keeping them all busy over on this left-hand side. Somebody needs to defend against the fire minions, and they're still wrecking havoc as Sun Wukong comes in from the backside, as does the rest of enemy, to look to end this game and make it 2-0 in their favor.
And good job on enemy, going to be extending their record to 9-9, tied with a couple playful and some important wins to break their 7-game losing streak for enemy.
That's what you're saying. That's a big key here. As you said, they've got on a 7-game losing streak, but this one is the one that needed to find some wins and actually do pick up a... To be fair, it was a comfortable 2-0.
It was definitely a comfortable 2-0. I mean, enough that you could tell that they were joking around a little bit in the game. And, you know, First Blood and the aggression. I believe this was actually Aduro dying to Adjust, was it? Or no, it was the dual lane. We actually missed this one, I believe.
In the jungle, I believe it was then, because of Khaos. No,
this was Aduro, yeah.
The game. What actually happened here was Aduro aggressed into the jungle looking for the pick, and managed to find it.
I mean, adjust damage, or excuse me, Awilix's damage early on is so high. I mean, if she hits you with that feather step and it's got the 2 times damage multiplier on it and a red pot, you just get chunked.
A lot of people underestimate, and that is one of the reasons Adjust was made MVP for that game. Very good performance for the jungler, who's one of the newer additions of that enemy lineup. 13, 4, and 9, and had some great individual play, as well as good positioning for his team too.
He's fitting in well with this team and really making an impact. Against AFK, we didn't see much from him, but to be fair, the team is a little bit off of AFK. They could probably, you know, sneak some games against some higher-end teams. We actually saw them beat Cloud9 earlier in the year, but Adjust, I think this guy could be the player that puts them enemy as a top 4 team.
He's one of those junglers that you may see grow and grow and become a big staple in the North American scene. A good decision from him. Enemy, great team though. So
great
far,
team.
this season's going very well for them.
And Vetium really controlled his lane, and he's actually going to be on the line for the interview with Enemy. How you doing, Vetium?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. So, talk to me about that matchup against Vessalius there. It looked like you just wanted to fight all day, and he was happy to fight you.
Yeah, pretty much. He just didn't have the sustain to like keep it going, and I just had like Devos and Soul Eater over him, so he really just couldn't fight me.
What's the thought process when you go into that double lifesteal? Is this just a standard build you go on Medusa, or is it dependent on matchup?
It's somewhat dependent on the matchup and somewhat dependent on who I'm facing in terms of ADC player. But it just gives you like a lot of sustain, so it's always good, and you have so much protection and health from Soul Eater, so it's really good.
Second thing to talk about your build as well. We saw Brawlers beat Stick in the first game you played, and then Jotuns in the second game. What was the decision making behind those items?
I feel like I don't really need more than 1 attack speed item. It's a little odd considering nobody else does it, but I find like the power and the pen to be really useful, so I like it.
Awesome. So, Enemy, you guys are 9-9. You finally broke your 7-game losing streak. How does it feel? And do you guys think coming into the second half of the split that you guys are going to be able to take games really off these high-end teams like Ullr, TSM, and AFK? Well, I guess not. You won't be facing them anymore, but your rematch?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident with Adjust, their new jungler. I think it's best for us to just hope for the best, and we'll see how we do.
Well, fantastic performance so far. Do you have any shout outs to the people at home or any fans or sponsors?
Shoutouts to Enemy and shoutouts to Pain for being a French fry, man. He's my support.
There you go.
Shout out to him. Thanks very much for joining us, Vetium. Good performance today, and the boys of Enemy as well. And with that, Kevin, that rounds us out with this week. Let's look at the standings for North America and see exactly what those last 2 games mean for the standings.
AFK not only dropping a game, but Team Ullr 2-0ing TSM, and they have established themselves as the clear top 2 team in North America, but Cloud9 able to find two important wins back on the rise. They're looking to climb back up, and Enemy also sitting up there as well. A very competitive North American standing.
The big one for me is Denial, 5-11, slipping down. We expect them to challenge for top 4 at the moment. They're trying to get into the top 6 just to make it to the LAN. Big things in North America to talk about. Still, all teams just about still available.
I mean, Cog was actually the one who gave AFK their second loss. This is a very competitive region, and there's going to be teams at the super regionals that are going to lose that probably may not deserve to lose. It's super competitive in both regions, and it's awesome to see this.
Well, we've still got a few more weeks to go of the Smite Pro League. Tune in and continue watching it as of Thursday next week, where we'll continue into week 7 of the SPL. From everybody at hi-rez Studios, have a wonderful rest of your week.